Okay, folks, let's go ahead and get started and do a little paint session this morning and do something a little different. And let's get the van under control first. Okay, so what do we have here? What are these three turds that are here? So, as you guys know, I'm working on my Irish project, and they should be doing battle shortly. But with that, I wanted to build some new woods for them to place down. They're a forest army, which means they have to put down some woods, guaranteed. And the mark woods that I have with the replaceable pine trees, I wanted to replace them, do something different. So what I've got here is, this would be the Mark III woods that I'm making. And they are going to have some clump terrain on top of them. But all I did was I normally use the U.S. Post Office packages for the back. I didn't have any of those available. I hadn't gotten anything in the mail recently. So this is just regular cardboard. It's a little thicker than I would have wanted it to be. And we covered it with spackle on the ends to kind of cover some of the two cardboard pieces. And just did that, let that dry. And then we added our Liquitex resin sand on top, let that dry. And then we just painted the top of it with the first of the three colors. Now, the three colors that I normally use for my ground basing are Vallejo. I don't use Vallejo for something this big because Vallejo is expensive and I've got a large area to cover. Oh, by the way, all right, let's start over. I had the cardboard. I covered the edges in the spackle. I didn't want to show all this stuff because it was a lot of it that I had to do kind of last minute. And after that was done, after that dried, I spray painted everything black on both sides so they'll lay relatively flat. Then after that's dry, I put the resin sand on here, let that dry, and then dry brush or painted the first color of the brown. The brown I like to use is this color right here. This is the Deco Art Americana Raw Umber, and it's a nice color. Unfortunately, I'm almost out of it. I mean, I've got probably this much left in it. So I go to the store to find it. Every store that I go to is out of this color. It's out of a lot of the craft paint colors. I mean, like 90% of them. I think people bought a lot of craft paint and they're not manufacturing, not getting it in. I actually went out of town yesterday, didn't do any painting in the morning. So I wasn't able to do any painting, but I did go to another town, went up to Jacksonville, went to a couple places where they would have this, not specifically for, I didn't take a long trip just to look for crap dollar paint, but they were cleaned up too. So it seems like the whole craft paint industry is kind of dried up. Look for it online. Yeah, it's available on Amazon for like $7 for one of these. Well, I'm not paying 7 times the price. So I had used this as a replacement. I did find this color, and I'm not entirely happy with it because it's got some of an oxide look to it. Now, I'm not too worried about it because most of it is going to be covered. If you use this as an example, here is this. I built this last weekend, and the brown here at the bottom on this, it's got a lot less red oxide. So I'm not sure I even need to worry about it too much. It doesn't need to match perfectly, but I just don't like the way this red looks. So I think I'm going to try to, this is 3 of them that I'm going to build. We're going to build a little one by itself. And we're going to just pretend that we put it in the brown color that I liked. And I'm going to finish the process all the way to the 3 steps. And if I don't, then do something different, okay? But we're going to finish one completely. And so it does look a little red, but I think it'll be fine. Um, yeah, you can order this on Amazon for, well, there's crazy prices on there for stuff. I'm not paying those kind of, just go through the rest of the process, and not repay it with the little bit that I have of this. So let's go grab El Cheapo paints. And all right, I painted with these the other day. I don't remember exactly which color was which that I used, but it's not that critical. As long as you get some differentiation between them. Now, the colors I normally use are chocolate brown, US field drab, and Iraqi sand. So in a perfect world, I would just use these three. This is what I use for my small basing. So we got the brown color supposedly taken care of. And I believe we used this one for the final one. So the mid one is this. Okay, so these are the three colors that we're going to use. The other two colors that we're going to use, these are Apple Barrel Territorial Beige and Country Tan. Yeah, it's really dried out on everything. So now let's see if is this brush going to behave, or we're going to have to go to somebody else. No, we're okay with this one. All right, and we're not going to be using a fancy wet palette for this process. Let's get the adjustment in here. And greetings. I'm super happy to see a terrain tutorial. Good morning, Ian. Good morning, Finland. Well, maybe this will be a terrain tutorial and not a, I'm not going to do it this way tutorial. Sometimes you just have to push through. When I did these guys the last weekend, I didn't think they were going to turn out this well. I mean, I'm impressed. They turn out a lot better than I thought they were going to. But that's the thing about terrain, is you start doing it and it looks like crap, and then you just need to stick with it. So I'm going to put these here for reference. All right, here we go. Let's mix this stuff up. Now, as I needed those other pieces of terrain to dry. So, all right, here we go. Well, this is the part where you guys see that I'm going to get some on my fingers. So now I'm prepared to repaint this in this brown color I like, if this has, but most of this color is going to get covered over anyways. So let's move this a little bit. So. I was doing a video the other day. It's like, hey, half the stuff's missing on your screen. And I'm like, I can't tell. I'm busy painting. Yeah, so that's, I've heard rumors. You know, I hate rumors. Rumors are a lot of people are buying more craft things than ever before. And the other rumor is, well, they're not making it because everybody's busy making masks and stuff that would normally make you paint. I'm sorry, there's nobody that's making paint that's making masks all of a sudden. That's a totally unrelated tooling. You can't tool your business from one thing to another. It may be that a lot of people are out of work, or they cut down their workforce, or a lot of people are sick and maybe not showing up for work, or scared to show up for work or something. But be it as it may, you know, that's not going to hold us back. Now see, this is still on top of oxide, but most of it's going to get covered. You just need the bottom color just to mainly cover over most of the details and and most of the spots there and create the dark shadows. So yeah, there is oxide showing, but not a whole lot. Now, most of this is going to get covered with clump foliage anyways. Now, I could have spent a lot more detailed time doing this, meaning I could have added, say, little rocks and stuff right here in the middle, but I'm kind of on a time crunch and I can always add them later if I feel like it. And none of my other woods really have that, so I'm not too worried about that. I also don't want to sit here and repaint the whole thing because if you've watched any of my painting stuff, I don't spend a lot of time like, okay, let's wait for this to dry and go on to something else, unless it's some kind of a gloss coating or something like that, or a varnish. I pretty much go from one thing to the other. So in a perfect world, I like to start one thing and finish that thing before I move on to something else. That's my preferred method. So, okay, I think we're pretty good with this. Now, this is thicker than I would have wanted it to be. Normally what I do is, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pull out one of my Mark 1 woods so that we can kind of compare that. Let's pull out I'll pull both of them out. This is what we're comparing them to. And I built these and, well, this one doesn't say it. This one doesn't say it either. Huh. I have one of my things that actually says the date. Yeah, see, this is, oh, you guys are over here. I'm so in need of a cameraman, I'm telling you. So this is my first attempt of making any kind of 3D woods ever. And this was probably done close to 10 years ago. All it is this is 2 layers of, this is a carton that after you get something in the mail from the postal service, it comes in this cardboard, but it's really thin, so it doesn't have a lot of airspace between it. And this is just 2 layers of it, and I just cut it out like this, so you can take the woods out and move your figures in the woods, and then when they're off of it, you can put this back. I don't like this a lot because it's tall, so it can get damaged. Like you can see, I need to repair that, but no big deal. But see this clump foliage here? This is what we're going to put all over this stand here. That's what we're planning on doing, is these little low trees, and they're always on there, okay? We're going to do some dry brushing and stuff on the trees that these particular ones don't have. But this is kind of the look that we're looking for, without the tall pines and the cutout. We're just going to leave it permanently here. Now, it's still a little taller than this one, even with the double layer, but I think we'll be okay. But this is the color we're achieving. I don't think at this point having this, so anyhow, this is the Mark 1 woods. And the Mark 2 you've seen in videos, the woods I made for Mitch. He had these, no, they were masonite. And we covered those up. You know what? I think I'm going to go. Yeah, we'll stick with this color. I just covered up with his masonite boards with this, and then painted the 3 levels and put the clump foliage on there. So we'll try doing that. Now, the only thing I thought about doing is gluing, when it comes to gluing the clump foliage, is, man, this stuff is so damn watery, when it comes to doing the clump foliage, I was thinking of gluing them down with a hot glue gun, something I rarely use. Rarely makes it sound like I use it more often than I actually do. I think I've used it once for something. We're just going to go with Elmer's and see how that works. So at that point, we'll go back to do Auxilia or something like that. But I want to finish one of these completely to make sure that I'm on the right track. I don't want to do 3 of them and hate them all. So let's do a little one first and make sure that one is turns out how we like it, and go from there. So you know what that means when they have this paint, this brown paint back in stock. Yeah, I'm gonna buy like 6 of them. I'm not going through this crap again. It's not like this paint's gonna go bad. Yeah, it'll end up. This will end up being just fine. This will end up being just fine. Yeah, so we end up covering most of it anyway, so it's not that really that big a deal. I mean, hell, this could probably work for the desert. That's pretty darn the same. Cool. That's good news. So you know what we're gonna do is I'm gonna set this off to the side. Let's go do the other. Let's go do the other 2. Let's go do the 2. We don't want to get any paint on this if we can avoid it. I can get it off, but I got a magic eraser and all kinds of stuff. Take care of that. All right, we're gonna do. Let's do this one next. Let's put the medium color down. We still got some, but we're gonna need more than that. We're gonna do 2 of them. I'm gonna close room 2, and I don't want to wake the girls. To sleep at 6 in the morning. I think it's a waste. Sleeping's a waste of time. Only time I like to sleep is when I'm on a cruise, so that's good. Other than that, I'm lucky if I get 7 hours of sleep every night. Now, I didn't lay this very thick on here, the Liquitex. Now, I'm kind of a noob when it comes to terrain. I haven't done a whole lot of it. That's not really my focus. In painting, it probably should be. Especially with the way these 2 guys turned out. And sometimes you just got to give yourself a shot and just power through something. You know, if it starts to look like, I don't know if this is going to turn out okay, just put another 10, 15, 20 minutes into it and see if you can take it where it needs to go. Because I haven't done this enough, so sometimes I get the inkling that things are going sideways when they're not. And if sometimes you just power through it, you'll see that they just turn out just fine. With the figures, that isn't the case for me, because I've done so many darn figures that sometimes I'll get discouraged, like, this isn't going to come out okay, and it does. But that's just experience. The more you do it, the more you realize what all the different steps in the process look like, and if they consistently look the way that they've been in the past, then you're probably on the right track. Oh, we're going a little thick there. Well, it's not to worry, because this is not the final look. And even if it is, I'm going to cover most of this with the clump foliage. Well, I think I'm going to cover most of it with the clump foliage. I'm like fighting the light here. Let's try to change this a little bit. Okay, that's all right. Ian White says, I'm having internet lag, so I'll drop and watch this out later. Okay. You've started too many training pieces just to give up before completing the project. Should try to finish at least a couple. Yeah, the same thing happens to me. I just gotta, I need to like put this mantra up there. I have motivational posters. Mine would be, you can paint your, you you can paint your way out of. I forget that, and it's not that I'm the best painter in the world, but I'm just saying I've done this and I've done painting things enough. I can, as long as it involves acrylic paint, I can get my way out of anything because I've done it enough. I just sometimes you just fail your own morale check, and yeah. Maybe we'll work. Maybe we'll do terrain today. Maybe that's all we'll do today because we're supposed to play tomorrow with the new army. Shh. So I don't want to jinx it, but that's why the push is to get this done today, so that we can use these new woods. I mean, I could use the old woods, but I've been wanting to do this. We're supposed to paint tomorrow, play tomorrow. We're supposed to paint. I mean, we're supposed to film. So, hope, and we're only supposed to have a maximum of 4 people. So there better not be a freaking 5th guy that shows up and screws the whole painting thing, the whole filming thing. I may just be the guy that doesn't show up then, and I'll come over one day later, and then we could film on Tuesday. I'm not going to play my Irish Army without them being filmed right off the bat. So you have the opposite of most groups. Most people can't find somebody to play with. We have too many people that show up and screw everything up for filming. Not that I dislike any of the people. It's just like we can't all be there. And you can't film without me because I'm the film dude. I'm the only one that has a clue how to do that in our group. So we will see. Just filming once a month for games just doesn't cut it. So especially because if you don't film, something really cool will happen in that game, and then the film games end up being kind of boring. So we don't want that. We want to show everything because you never know when something really interesting is going to happen. Yeah. Well, I don't know about Pro 2 if you noticed, but in one of my there was a game that never made it. We had 6 people that. All right, I'll tell the story again. I gotta just make a video on it. So about a month ago, we were going to film, and it was announced on our little community chat there with our local groups that we're gonna film on such and such a day. Who can make it? And we've done obviously 2 people, 3 with 1 person watching, and we even did 4 commenters. So we're going to get 4 players this time. And within the last 15 minutes before the game night, so you're talking about we're going to start like around, say, 6:30 on a Monday. After 6 o'clock, I find out there's going to be 6 people coming. 2 people said, yeah, we're coming in at the last minute. So at that point, I either forget I'm going to film, even though I've known for nearly a week that we were going to be able to film with 4 people. And in the last 15 minutes, all of a sudden I can't film now. Or I say anyways. And it was a success because we had 7 games in less than 3 hours. It sounded like a brawl most of the time when people started coming in. So it was like 2 people playing and 5 talking and talking about all kinds of different subjects not related to DBA and arguing about sports and no, I'm not going to put that garbage out there. That's not what my games are about. They're not a big feud type thing. So I listened to the whole thing and just decided I don't want that out on my channel. So it's going to do more harm than good. So anyhow, at that point, I'm like, okay, if we get more than 4 people, I'm not even gonna bother filming. I'm not gonna bother wasting my time and editing a video, because editing a video means I'm not painting. And if I'm not painting, I'm not doing a painting video. They're not related to each other. So if I'm filming games, it's not like if I do these videos while we're painting live, you guys don't get to see any games being played, because I wouldn't be playing a game right now anyways. So if you're thinking, man, why is Tony doing so many live painting things? I want to see games. They don't affect each other. Okay, so I can actually I can do more painting things if I'm not playing the game and filming that, but not the other way here. And I could just we could just be playing the game instead of doing this. So it's difficult to get a game night more than once a week because we have polar opposite schedules. He has Monday and Tuesdays off, and I have the normal Saturday, Sunday off. So it's only Monday after work when I get off work we put that video out. But it's just going to do more harm than good, you know. If you put something out there and it causes more turmoil than it does people helping the video out, it's just probably shouldn't put it out there. So yeah, so that's it. So we're only supposed to have 4 people. If I find out 5 people are coming, I'm just not going to even go. I'll paint instead. So I could say I'm gonna take my toys and go home, but I won't even show up. 'Cause I don't want these guys that spent a couple hundred hours painting to have their first outing not to be on video. So and I can't film more than one battle going on at one time because it would be too difficult to view. Now we are going to bring the camera mount, this new camera mount that I've been using for a week now, over to Mitch's house, and we'll see how that works. But should give a more vertical view. Not completely vertical, but you know, kind of like how we did the last game video there with the Kandata, which I think turned out better than normal. Set this off to the side, compare. These are equivalent, right? So that's my spiel on my people and videos. So maintenance stuff here. request. We'll have to reply to yesterday. I, my Facebook page, for those of you that are on Facebook, I'm a big fan of using Facebook, but I'm a big fan of using Facebook for my hobby and stuff. So I don't mind friending people that are into the hobby that have the same interest, but don't send me a friend request if you're a person that wants to put all kinds of controversial stuff on your Facebook page. You can do whatever you want on your Facebook page. I certainly do, but there's nothing worse than friending somebody and then going to their Facebook page and realize they have a bunch of controversial stuff and not hobby related things on their page. It's nothing worse than friending somebody and saying, "Oh, I'll just unfriend them right off the bat," or hiding them. I don't want to hide you guys for 30 days or something like that. So I'm not interested in your political opinions. Even more so if they're 180 degrees opposed to everything that I believed in my entire life. But I don't care what people's politics are, as long as you keep it hobby related. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, I don't want to friend somebody and then have to hide them. What's the whole point, right? Um, uh, I've had to do that, unfortunately. I had to hide people, give them 30 days. They pop up after 30 days. They're still up back to the same old thing. I just unfriend them. Sorry. It's nothing personal. I don't need that negativity in my life. You know, to, I go to, I go and do this hobby for get away from the bullshit in real life. So I'm not really interested in that bullshit in real life come back and haunt me. So anyhow, so if you're wondering why Tony unfriended you, maybe that's a kind of a clue. Um, but no, I try to do my Facebook is mostly hobby related. So that's really what it's for. Because I don't go to people's page. You know, it's like it's your house. It'd be like going to somebody's house and spray painting their house. It's like there's their house. They can do whatever the hell they want at their house, but don't come to my house and spray paint my house. I guess we're going to have another philosophy session here. See, this is what happens when you guys don't give me any material to talk about. I go off on these philosophy. Not really philosophy, but you know. Uh, I see the point. Thanks for clearing the situation. And unfortunately, I have to get going now. I'll be taking a hike in the woods as it usually lovely September weather. Well, enjoy the lovely weather because it certainly isn't lovely here. This is a swamp, never ending swamp. The land of Neverwinter here is absolutely worthless in the nights here. It's still in the 80s and swampy. So, but that's a good thing. You can check these things later. But you want to check these live videos out about 12 hours after they air, because what will happen is after this is done filming, um, YouTube will end up they'll process the video, and so they'll process the video and put it out there all in like a crappy quality. And then when that's done, then they'll come out and go a little better quality and then a little better. So like, for instance, it'll be available in 240p, which is worthless first. When that's done processing, then they'll do it in 480. Then they'll do it in 720. And that normally takes about 12 hours or more, based on where you are in the queue. And the more viewers you have, more followers, subscribers, you're probably higher up in the queue. So don't forget to like and subscribe, especially it makes sense. They want to prioritize stuff that people are interested in seeing. So the people will watch it and they'll watch the advertising, which is where they make their money. So this is a free service, so you know that's how the world works. A little bit, make sure we don't have any weird discrepancies, and then we'll start looking at this clump foliage and seeing if we can't make heads or tails out of it. thumbs up, then I have people watching, but I don't blame people for watching it later. You don't have to watch it live, you know. Watch it however you want to watch it. Okay, so there we have it. Now let's go grab the clump foliage and see what we're dealing with. Now, I haven't used this in quite a long time, so let's see what we got going on here. Now, I don't think I've ever bought this stuff. In other words, I think this is things that have fallen off of my trees. And I do have woodland scenics trees. Hell, I may not have enough clump foliage for everything. I don't really know what I'm getting into here, so let's do the little one first. We'll get the little one looking right. This is what we wanted anyways. We wanted smaller woods anyways. So this is my small woods from before and my larger woods. And let's see, the other one is, these are maybe, let's do the little guy first. All right, and or PVA as you guys across the pond like to call it. I don't think it even says polyvinyl acrylate on here. No. Hey, it's made in the USA. I think I have like 3 items in my possession that are made in the USA. Yay! One of the places we stopped at yesterday, we didn't buy anything there, but we just happened to stop at. We went out of town yesterday. We went to IKEA in Jacksonville, and in going there, we were looking at some plates. We didn't buy any, but I was surprised to find out that they were made in France, which is excellent. That bodes well that we're making things in free countries still. For now, but that's good. What else do I have made in France? Oh, this stuff. This stuff is made in France. Awesome. All right, now let's take a look at something. I may not have enough of this stuff to do 3 stands. There's going to be some of the ground showing, but and the figures when they go through there, they're not going to be able to be completely flat, but it'll be far enough. But let's compare this. This is close. Yeah, and there's going to be I'm gonna put some grass on the edges and stuff. So hey, it may not look great, but it should work just fine. This is a cheap way of doing this. So all right. Yeah, this comes from the trees. You can actually see, this is actually not hair, but almost like glue filament stuff that was, when this was attached to the trees. I've got the woodland scenics, some of the bigger trees for my 20mm way back in the day. So I still have some of these left over. I'm gonna have to put this on kind of thick. Let's grab one of these. And this is the part where I thought, hey, maybe I'll just use the glue gun for it. But the problem with the glue gun is, other than I don't have a lot of experience using one, is that if any of the glue shows, it'll be shiny, whereas this Elmer's tends to be pretty flat. All right, so let's do this like this. This is way too big a clump. All right, let's put one of these over here. unusual to have to use this stuff so darn thick. We'll put another one here. You know, some people swear by PVA. I hardly ever use it. The old terrain tutor. There's a guy who does terrain. I haven't watched him in a while. Um, Very animated guy, very positive guy. I like him. I think that I'm doing these videos, so I can't watch videos while I'm being productive. The problem with watching videos for me, and I've mentioned this before, if I end up repeating myself, it's because there's some people that don't catch all these sessions. So I figure for their benefit, I will repeat things I've said before. But if I'm watching something, I tend to you know what? Sorry about that. Distracting myself. Look at the stuff that Buddy Joe gave me. That's pretty. That's got a lot of red, and I may not use that for the woods. Yeah. Anyhow, if I'm making my own videos like this, I can stay on track. If I'm watching somebody's videos, I constantly get distracted searching for the perfect video to watch, and end up spending an hour and a half of a 3-hour painting session just looking for videos. So I don't get, actually, if you guys are watching and finding this interesting, I'd rather just do that. So doesn't mean other people's stuff isn't any longer, and they're more professional at it. I'm just a painter. I'm just a lowly painter, and I'm not a video guy, in case you guys couldn't tell. But, you know, there's also people that make worse videos than me, so, you know, we're just kind of plugging along here. And then one thing we're going to want to do is I'm going to dry brush some of this on top when I'm done, and that makes a huge difference. A huge difference. Let's, that one fits in there just fine. Put that guy in there. Yeah, I haven't watched Old Terrain Tutor in a while. I think he quit. He quit his normal job just to do this hobby stuff full time. That's great if you can make it work for you. I have too much overhead for that, so. If I lived under a bridge, maybe I could do it. That'd be pretty awesome to be working on your hobby stuff all the time. But then he sells his stuff too, so I'm not interested in selling what I make. That's unless it's something I just don't want in my collection anymore, which has happened. My old 12400 ship models, I didn't care for how they looked anymore, and we weren't really playing that anymore, so they went bye-bye. But that was over a decade ago. Now, if this doesn't work, which is possible that this doesn't work, then we'll just end up hot gluing guarding this. But we gotta wait till the wife wakes up for that anyways, because I don't know where the hell the hot glue got it. That's kind of her tool, so for her crafting stuff, so that they've used with the daughter. So I don't really know where that's located. We're not gonna go on a a flying mission with that. That's why I wanted to try this on the small one first. You don't want to put a lot of investment on a lost cause and then be like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done it that way. Yeah, all these filaments, this is like stuff that was stuck to. They use like this, almost like maybe it's like hot glue strands or something like that, just to stick it to the woodland trees. And this is just stuff that's fallen off the woodland scenic trees. Yeah, I've got that many of them. I just they're not really useful for DBA. I prefer the terrain to look smaller in scale than the than the figure scale. So I prefer terrain to be like 6 millimeter or like even 3 millimeter in size, so that it goes in game scale, not figure scale. Okay, we're gonna let this be. I'm gonna put a few more and just make sure that this stuff ends up being. I don't want to go through this whole process and find out these guys really aren't didn't attach well, and we go back to the beginning. All right, we're gonna leave this alone for a little bit and come back to this. And well, really don't know how long it takes for this stuff to dry. A couple hours, a couple 2-3 hours, and see how this looks. I don't want to do the grass on the edges and stuff. There's not going to be a whole lot of grass, but there could be some shaping around the edges here. Now, I normally base all my figures with black around the edges. I think it looks better. I don't think I'm going to do that with the terrain. I think it's going to make it pop too much. But, we'll see. Let's move this off to the side. And, yeah, now, well, I had this whole area all nice and clean and everything, and now we got all this stuff here. What if I'd use a channel name that was more representative than just my name? It'd be like Neat Freaks Painting or Anal Retentive Painting. I don't like being distracted by all this stuff, so. Okay, let's leave these colors out here. We'll move them soon, and we don't need these guys. So let's do something else that we need to do. Something on a totally different tack. Flip that over. All is right with the world. I don't like having these little... Oh man, I'm cracking myself up. Let's see, is this water still good? No, this is dirty as shit. You should be all right for what we need to use it for. Let's get some airbrush thinner out here. Let's get the wet palette out here, and something I need to do before the games begin tomorrow. If you guys are just joining me, welcome. And it's to take some motivational juice here, also known as black iced coffee, no sugar. I'm fat enough as it is. I don't need sugar. We have sugar, we fall asleep, so I'm not going to get a lot of painting if you see me asleep. I didn't wake up to go to sleep, folks. Now, this is totally on the other end of the spectrum of what we were doing, because I don't consider this to be detail painting on any level, this particular one. But what we're going to do now is definitely. So we're going to take our Irish Commander, and we're going to need to, this is a Little Big Man Studios flag. And their flags are excellent, but there's two things wrong with them. First of all, they're glossy. And second of all, this is all one piece, but there's a white spot between them. And between both halves. So we need to kill that because it's like an eyesore. So we need to find a color that matches this edge of the flag here that this light tan is on. I'm probably not going to be able to get it perfectly, but I should be able to get it close. And we have to use the smallest of paints so that we don't have some kind of a major problem. So that's not it. It's got way too much yellow in it. Let's start here. Possible candidate. No. That's actually closer. Let's start with this. Yeah, hopefully I won't screw this up. Honestly, I'm not too worried about it. Now we're going to paint over here. So let's make sure that we get that in the video. All right. You know how the saying goes, let me take my glasses off so I can see. Oh man. All right, let's just do a test. And we don't want this too dry. We don't want this too watery where it could move. And we need a more detailed brush than that. That one's not gonna get me where I need to go. This is for many things, but this is extreme. And may not be one here. All right, let's get a new candidate out. I got plenty to choose from. This one should be coaster collection. You know, back when you could travel to places and we had freedom, I could bring coasters with me because I use them. I'm always drinking something cold, so I'm always drinking something that's sweating, perspiring. This is just this is the thick stuff. So I'm not sure if that's going to attach or not. If not, we're going to end up using a hot glue gun. Now this may not work. Okay, I've actually never done this before, but this is a freaking eyesore. I don't know why they decided to put a white spot that big from. And we're going to take this really slow because we don't want to screw up this flag. Okay. Okay, I've got this damn chat box here that shows nothing here in the front. There we go. See if you can tell the difference there. Just covering the one edge there so it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. Okay, flip this over to the other side. And one of the places I went to yesterday was they have a place in Jacksonville called the Chamberlain Book Mine. And this is a store that's pretty large, and it is a catacomb of passageways, and looks like it was an old home back in the day, or maybe a very large home. And they decided to turn into a used bookstore, and so they've got a lot of Osprey books there, etc. You know, whatever people turned in, that's where I go to. I'm interested in the Ospreys and stuff like that. And we went there yesterday, and it was the first time I ever walked out of there and didn't bring anything with me. Didn't take anything out there with me. It's really good because most of their content is damn near brand new. It might be faded, like from being on a shelf, but the pages are pretty much brand new, or at least all the stuff I'm interested in. And And if you find something there that you like, it's about half retail price. So you're talking about most Osprey books are 7, 8 bucks. Some even as low as 6. And you know, it's a treasure hunt. You never know what you're going to find. So you go in there and, you know, kind of with an open mind and see what finds you, as I like to say. Now, we'll do something a little different. Let's add a little bit of black to this. And we have a white edge all the way over here that we want to deal with. I've got enough control with this that I think I can handle doing that. Now, nope, we don't want to get to it from that side. We've got to be careful because we don't want it to be too wet. Now, let's make sure that we're not screwing up the other side by doing this. We're not yet anyways. I'm trying to use this Vallejo thinner instead of water, and it seems to be doing its job pretty well in helping the paint that's on the end of this brush from clumping up. Let's make sure we're not still okay. All right. Kind of used it on a whim the other day, and I've been pretty happy with the results so far. So I like this better than just painting the edge black. And then after we're done with this, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up giving it a dull coat it somehow. I tried to cut this as close as I could, but it's not perfect. So I could do these Irish boys. I want to start working on the next army. So um, I'm 95% sure who I'm going to do at this point. I need to make sure that I think about it because whatever I do, I'll be stuck doing them for the next couple months. Normally it would be like 6 months, but at the rate I'm going, it's probably only going to be 2 months or so. Because I'm getting a hell of a lot more done than I've ever have. I'd say in these interesting times, but I'm not that interested in these times. We live in interesting times. Yeah, I'm not interested. I'd say it's turning out pretty well. I think you're always going to be able to tell that there's a border there. The whole thing is you don't want it to be so prominent, so bright that your eye is drawn to it and you don't see anything but that. So as long as we're not having that problem, I think we're okay. That's a little too dark. There we go. Yesterday evening, I was like, "Oh shit, tomorrow's a work day," and I'm like, "No, tomorrow's Sunday. We get a game painting morning to get in here." So if you guys are enjoying this, so am I. So got lots more to paint. No end in sight. Man, that turned well. Turned out well. Yeah, I like this better than a. I like blending this color into the color of the flag better than a black border. And I'm using so little amount of paint. Now, there's some showing up down here. I wish the video could show what I'm seeing. Um, Hopefully, I'm still painting by a time that we have technology where we can share that. So, um, I still got decades of painting in me for sure. So as long as I don't get the shakes, and I'm good in that department. Especially since this doesn't make me nervous. This is therapy for me. All right, so let's see if we can let's do a zoom in here. And we want to get rid of those edges. And we'll let this dry a little bit. And we'll try to put some dull coat on it now. Let's do something a little different. Let's grab my flag that I've already finished for my Russians. Let's put it on here. Now, it's glossy as well. This is also a Little Big Man Studios flag. We're gonna brush on some flat coat acrylic on it and see what it does. If I screw this up, it's okay. I've got other flags I can put on this army, but I do not want to screw up this Irish flag, okay? Let's use this, the dull coat. Uncharted territory. Let's do the acrylic. I hate uncharted territory. I've been doing this too long to encounter any uncharted territory. bought and never used. Let's grab a clean brush that's relatively big so that we don't have to use a bunch of brush strokes. Let's use this. If I screw this up, folks, well, oh well. Now, I have no idea if this is going to work, if I got to use multiple coats. I talked to the flag manufacturer and they said either one of them will work. We're just going to put this on here lightly and hope for the best. And see if this dulls this some. I don't like the way enamels dry, that they dry gummy. So like if I did this, if I flipped it and wanted to go back and touch it up, I could end up like, it'll like catch. I don't want that. I don't want any part in that. So we're gonna let this dry and see if we get a flat coating. If it looks like it's getting flat and still not flat enough, we'll do it again. Maybe we'll give it 3 coats. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't, that took no time at all. Okay. All right. So where are we at? We're done with this guy. Well, until we give him a flat coat. Okay. So we're going to set him off to the side. Let's go grab old Eddie, a new laser printed flag. And put this through a laser printer. And this is a flag I put on myself. Now, I'm not going to seal this flag at all. Okay. I don't want it to, I don't know if it's going to run, but we're going to leave it the hell alone. Now, we are going to put a little bit of an edge on this flag. We're not going to use black. We're going to use like a light gray color. We're going to start with that. So just a tiny little edge. We're going to put that on there. And if I screw it up, I got another one of these printed. So I always want to leave myself an out. All right, so let's grab some black. Let's grab some white. Yeah, something like this. It doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be a whole lot of paint. Something like this color right here. Now I need it kind of dry because I don't want it to be too much wetter. We don't want that capillary crap going on. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. To quote a Mitch, we're gonna go ever so slightly. Getting some capillary. We better be really careful with this. I don't want to have to put another flag on here. That just takes time, and I got other things to do other than this, so. we're not interested in putting a lot of paint on there. We just need to take the white edge off, add a little bit of depth to it. Okay, I like how that edge is looking. Let's come in here and give it some attention to the top edge. I think we're gonna, that's good enough alone. It doesn't match up perfectly at the top, but I don't want to put an edge and then it end up coming down on the other side. So we should be fine with that. Okay. Now, any kind of insight how this is coming out? Oh yeah, this flattened it just fine. Perfect. All right. That was the acryl, I believe. Let's do the acryl. Let's use the acryl. Good. We found a use for this product that we had for years and never did a damn thing with. That's always good. Three quiet lurkers. Okay. Yeah, the enamels just aren't very forgiving. If I come back and try to do this on the other side, it'll end up messing us up something fierce. So let's just leave that alone. All right, let that dry. Good. Now, let's put this off to the side. Let's see how our little woods are doing over here. Well, there's the first good sign. It flipped over, nothing happened. I'm gonna let this dry a little bit. I'm not gonna do all three. And you know what I can do? I can go ahead and just do some dry brushing now on this. Let's get our dry brushing. Let's put the dry brushing side up. The messy side up. And put this out here. All right, let's oh, I think I did this before with craft paint. Let's use craft paint. That stuff's cheap. So, green, how appropriate. Leaf green. And cadmium yellow. Should be fine. And some. You got white around here somewhere? All right. Now we don't need that big ass brush. We also don't need a high quality one either. Oh, sorry, I didn't see all these videos here. Hi, Tony, seeing most of the top of your head. Great head of hair, though. All right, well, I could lower it, but then you're not going to see much of a thing on there. Looks like Flag Day for you. I'm refurbishing some terrain battlefields that I've had for ages. I'm trying different desert themes. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can. Let's try this first. Leaf green. And we're only going to do a gentle amount of this right here. Geez, well, that doesn't hardly. Well, it looks like we're going to have a significant amount of paint on here to for it to show up. Yeah, a lot of the top of my head was showing. It's because I get into my work, man. I'm like Linus on the piano. Strange. I clicked the. I guess I wasn't showing those videos. I apologize. I was showing those comments. I don't get a notification when a comment gets posted. I have to click this button and see if there's anything new there. So I try to do that from time to time. I want to see the comments because it could create some points for talking about stuff. Because you know, sometimes I just run out of things to say. So imagine that. Yeah, this is just going to be our little test bed, and we're going to put some grass here along the bottom afterwards. If we get the rest of this looking how we want it, so. Looks like this Elmer's is holding on okay. I didn't want to use the glue gun. I'm always afraid I'm going to get burnt by the tip of that. What I'm doing here, switching from thing to thing, if I wasn't filming, I wouldn't be doing. I would have surfed or something on the internet in between. That's how you don't get things done. So I've said this before. Even if none of you guys watch this content and don't find it useful, it helps me out doing it. So it keeps me on task. Like I said, the sooner I get these guys done, the sooner I can move on to my next army, which I am looking forward to doing. And we're not ready to do a reveal on them either. I want to be 100% sure when I go into them who I'm going to do. I'm only 95% sure now, so. I think this army that I'm doing falls into the ugly category. I think I'm going to try to do an ugly and a nice one, and an ugly and a nice one. These guys are ugly because they don't have a lot of more flamboyant. It's okay if these woods move some. They're pretty much not going to move in play, so. Now, let me get away from this thing, put on some glasses and see what we're looking at. Wow. I need to add more paint color to even notice a difference. Only the second or third time I've done this, so. If it looks amateurish, damn it, I'm an amateur when it comes to. This is not my first rodeo, but it's my third one. I'm just going to do this in light colored ones. All right. Let's see what we're looking at now. Yeah, I know you guys can see that. Let's try that. Let's bring a little Soloy guy here. Yeah, it looks okay. The ground color is a little lighter than I would have liked it to be, but that's all right. I'm sure it'll be fine when we cover up with some flock. Now, I don't think I'm going to do any flock here in the middle of it. We're just going to do around the edges here. And only, you try to run away from me. Caught you. Yeah. All right, let's see how that flag's doing. Oh, damn. That turned out really flat. Well, that's excellent. That's excellent. Now, one thing we talked about doing is lightening up the skies. I think in the process of switching back and forth, I'm going to lighten up the metal on that guy's helmet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we can always flat coat. Since this acrylic flat coat, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's rinse that, And let's go back and I don't need to use a wet palette for this. Let's go ahead and grab our mithril silver. Did I say mithril silver? I sure as hell did. I sure as hell did. Mithril silver. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing? Up there in the land of buttes. Buttes and sidewinders. If I go to Arizona, it's going to be in November or later. I don't like to go on vacations places that are even hotter than. Okay, this is mithril silver. Let's see if we still got some of this left. Yeah, this is the original one from the 80s. I got probably about half of it full. And all we're going to do here is bring up the chief. This guy's important enough to have somebody who just polishes it himself all the time. And seal this. It's not going to get much action. Like, I'm not likely to touch those parts of his helmet. All right. Maybe it's not that noticeable, but I know it's there. All right. And then let's do the same thing with the ridges. But we're not going to use silver for that. We're going to be thank you. Oh, put that guy back. Let's put some of these paints away. What do we have that's what color is this? It's the bronze. No, this is old gold. I feel like I need something brighter than that. Brass. What a weird color this brass is. Let's try this. Let's try this weird color. Getting ready to paint some late Roman legionnaires. There you go. You making an East or a West Army? Or one that you could do for both. I did about a quarter of one of those armies and just lost steam. Just completely lost steam. I never went back to it. I hope they never do that again. I hope to not start a project and not finish it. Can't say I'm going to guarantee doing that, but I hope that doesn't happen. These videos seem to help keep me on track. I should go back and finish off my Russians, but that ain't happening. I'm not excited to do them next. Just a little bit of highlighting there. Oh, yeah, that's the problem with moving the camera. Not doing anything exciting here, folks. This is not worth showing. Not worth showing. So I have a little set of these little trays that stuff like this would be really useful. I'll show you one of them. I want to say I picked up a 2-pack or a 3-pack of these little things. The problem with it is, oh, they're made by Low Cornell. Ooh, made in Taiwan. Ooh. But the problem is the paint sticks to I don't understand why. I need to buy a metal one of these is what I need to do, and then I can reuse it. A metal one I can get the stuff off of, but the plastic one, it's, even if I'm using like craft paint, it sticks to it really well. It's like you'd think it wouldn't stick at all, but it's just one of life's mysteries. So, all right. Well, this guy is, when that dries a little bit, we're going to go ahead and give it the matte coat on it. And that way we don't have to worry about it. And that way it'll be consistent. All right, we're almost done with this. I'm going to go grab a soda. And I'll be right back in mere moments. And who knows what we'll go next. Okay. As always, this production is brought to you by caffeine and Coke Zero. I don't think I had one yesterday. See what happens when I don't paint? All right, let's see. So I like how this looks, the Mark I woods, but I'm not liking how this one looks. Now I could do a couple things. I can say forget about it and don't worry about it and move on, or I can do something with it. One of the things I could do is I could give it a wash in the places I can reach of, pull it out here, this color called Agrax Earthshade. Okay. But I don't want it loosening up. Thank you. Look, see the Elmer's doesn't bind really well. I'm not sure the Elmer's is going to take me where I need to go. Doesn't bind really well. And if I put that wash on there, it's just going to loosen all that stuff up. Okay. And I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. And I think this has a reddish tint to it. Ish. You can always do a test on it. Let's do a test. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. This is such a large area. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. That stuff's expensive too. I don't want to sit there and slaughter all the stuff on there or make a mix. So, the brown isn't exactly the brown I wanted to use. It looks good enough. Okay. I think what we'll do is Let's go ahead and do the other two woods the same way as this. One at a time, of course. And I think I probably did the right thing not putting some rocks in here because things aren't necessarily in scale. Like for instance, I wouldn't want to put any of these little tufts on here because the tufts, if this is representing fully grown trees, these tufts all of a sudden are 30 feet tall, or they're really small shrubs. So this is kind of shrunk out even more, zoomed out. I mean, it's just a terrain piece. It just kind of has to give the impression of what it is. So yeah, man, the dull coat worked really, really well. That's great. That's great. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so that army's playable. I still got some auxilia to paint, but that army's definitely playable. All right. Make sure we don't have any. You prefer west. Okay. Sorry, I just got back to you on that, Kevin. I don't get a notification when comments come in, so keep it down. No, I want the interaction with other people. Otherwise, I don't even have to do this, you know. So let's get out our little. And I mentioned earlier, I may not have enough of these of this clump foliage. I'm pretty sure I do. I got enough to go on for this. Let's zoom this out some. They'll end up doing this out of the field of view of the camera. Okay. I know after this session, I'm gonna have to pick this stuff up. It's way too chaotic for me. This is just stuff that's fallen off of trees. Stuff that's fallen off of woodland scenic trees. Like, look at this. This is one big clump that was off of a tree. So it was a pretty big tree. It's, you know. You decided to scale your terrain to the miniatures rather than the map. Doesn't work well for BUA, however. Okay. I prefer to do it to the scale of the map. Now, but I think this looks better in the game. But do whatever you want to do, man. It's not my game, so you know you need to do what makes you happy. And I'm not a control freak. I believe in freedom. When in doubt, let people choose. So always choose freedom. I don't like to tell people what to do, and I really don't like them telling me what to do. So, as long as we observe both of those things, we should all get along just fine. Well, I'm doing this without my glasses. Let me try doing it with glasses. And by doing so, I'm having to get closer to what I'm doing, which means my damn head's in the way. So I apologize in advance, but I can't see jack shit. Let's try this. Yeah, we should have had this technology 10 years ago when I could see up close. Not anymore. When we do put on the grass flock, that's just going to be around the edges. I'm not interested in doing the, just so it ties into the game board or the terrain better. Oh, I know what we're going to do next. We don't have to do that. I've got some hills that some pre-made hills that I bought from at Historicon last year. Not last year, I think it was the year after last. I finished doing all of them. They're like made out of resin. And I got some gentle hills to do. I'm very reluctant to use gentle hills. I'm afraid that they're going to end up somewhere my opponent can capitalize on using them and get that uphill advantage. I'd rather put the rough hills, the bad going hills on. Because at least if they decide to go in there, they're going to end up getting a. It's only troops that can get the -2. It can only be bad going troops to go in there. So if spear or blades or something like that end up going into a bad going hill, they'll suffer the -2. So I'm a little bit less reluctant to use them than the gentle hills where they would benefit anybody. So Let's cut some of the crap and try to see if we can do this. Well, that's not working like it's supposed to. I don't know, maybe I should have been doing this way all along. I'm just very hesitant to throw a bunch of stuff out there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, all these. This isn't hair. This is like glue fibers that that looks like if you look at a woodland scenics tree, they're almost like the foliage is attached with like a glue gun, and that's what this stuff is. It's the I guess there's like some of the leftovers of. Let's just do it this way. Seems to be faster. Man, I don't want to spend all weekend just doing this. Let's make sure we stay ahead of this. We got plenty of foliage for this. Now, these woodland scenic trees were a fortune back when I got them. I can't imagine how much they are now. Two fortunes. I'm sure there's easier ways to make your own trees. I've watched videos of how to do that, but man, you only have so much time to do certain things, you know. So um, I don't even know if I'm going to even use use them again in the game, and don't see myself doing any anytime soon. Yeah, see, it's just like attached to itself with these elasticness things. Put that one there. This big old clump. So this clump fell off of a tree. Yeah, I think that this. Yeah. Okay, just a few more, and then we can move on to the other one. Put some here. All right, we're going to let this sit a little bit, and we'll come back, take a look at it. We're going to work on the last woods here. Yeah, even a little bit of dry brush, it didn't make that much of a difference. I could see it, but all right. All right. One here, one here, one there, one there, one there. Man, things are falling apart. All right. There's their matriarch tree there. See what else we got in here. make sure these clumps don't, you don't put it down here and then some parts fall off of it and you've got a bald tree. So some lighter green stuff in here. Here we go. Yeah, I hope this stuff sticks down. If not, we'll just have to hot glue gun it down. We won't be filming any of that hot glue gun stuff. If we have to resort to that, that's asking for something to go wrong. All right, working our way around to this corner. I guess I could just glue like a big clump like this and be done with it. But it's not very solid, so no point in doing that, and then it comes off. So fuck it, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's put it right here. Okay. And let's see what happens. I'm only doing it once. This is not a perfect type thing here. And we'll work our way over to it. Australian Greg, looks like I've missed a fair bit of this session. It's late Sunday night in Australia. I'll catch you tomorrow. Yes, and don't forget, wait 12 hours at least, or it'll be all buffered and you gotta wait like 12. If you miss it live, you need to wait like 12 hours for it to upload completely. Or there's no telling what kind of crap you're gonna get, because it's not gonna look good. Guy around. He's only got one job to do. Wake up and watch my videos. And oh man. All this stuff will end up going back in the bin. Now, I don't know if the lighter green trees should be on the edge and the darker ones in the middle, but I don't care. I'm not an arborist. It's not that particular, and um, we're just gonna go like this. It'll be fine. You can only care so much. Oh, I moved it on me. The bits of the light colored tree are significantly smaller. Let's see, get some lighter colored ones in here. Yeah, that didn't work. let's do a couple things. Let's move this off to the side and see if we can get most of this stuff in. Now, let's go back to where we were. All right, we got this drying, we got this one drying. Got anything heavy? Oh yeah, this is freaking heavy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set this off to the side, and we're going to put some weight on there to help hold that down. All right, so let's bring this thing back here. Put these craft colored paints in here. Set this on top of it just like that. I'm going to use the restroom, and I'll be right back, folks. Okay, we're back. Make sure we don't have any new material here. Nothing new, just you lurkers. Okay, cool. All right. As long as you guys aren't causing any riots, you can lurk all you want. Yeah, we're gonna let this. We're gonna let those woods dry there with the weight on top of them. Make sure they're down and good. And move these off the screen here. And let's take a look at some of this auxilia here. I've got 3 auxilia figures complete. Bye-bye. There was a little fly, extremely buggy outside. So one invariably of the billions got caught in here, and he just spent the night in this room, and he finally woke up. Oh, now he's taking a nap. Unless that was another one. Oh well. Very unusual to see flying things in our home anyways. Okay. let's adjust this. Bring this all the way here, and we'll see where we're at with the auxilia. Yeah, this flattened out really well. That's excellent. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take some photos on Irish today. We'll see. Maybe you do it outside where there's better lighting. This lighting is great for painting, but it just doesn't take pictures worth a damn. Seems like it. Okay, let's there's plenty more, so I'm not sure where this is coming up yet. Let's push this down, and we'll get to work on the next auxilia figure out. We figured out we've done these 3 folks for these are the old Mike's Models Renaissance figures. Let's get this in. There we go. Let's do that. That's a little bit better. And watch you to take my mind off the riots. I don't know, there's none of that here. We don't put up with that shit in the South. I don't live in a big urban area, so. Okay. These are the figures we got left to do. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Missing one. Oh, him. Oh, we already started him. Excellent. You guys probably didn't see this because the other morning I started working on him. You started working on the guy and didn't show it? Yeah, it was a work day. I think it was Friday morning and I didn't have much time. So if I ended up, I'm still trying to figure out how to get all this to work properly. Let's see here. I'm gonna try not to get my head in the camera, but I won't make any promises because most of the time I'm painting around here. Yeah, because most of my, you guys watch my painting, I'm always resting him on the edge here. So, okay, got it. All right, so this guy's we're done with his liner, which is his shirt. All right, and then let's go ahead and do some flesh. So it's time to do Tony's famous flesh mix. It's like a porn channel. You won't be doing any, producing any or starring in any. You're welcome. You want to see any flesh on my channel? It's that'll be Mitch's feet. All right, so let's do his flesh. Looks like our usual eyes aren't alive. The black's still good, the white's still good. Let's get the sunny skin tone out here in red leather. Let's bring them back up to life. All right, first thing we're gonna do is make our dark mix. You could use kind of a big brush for this. Where's, here we go. fleshy parts in that color. This guy has a face like Prince Furquad. uh, is he put on shoes? That bastard has shoes on. What kind of an uppity bastard has shoes in the Irish army? Who does he think he is, a chieftain? The most boring part for sure. Painting everything the one color. Figure anybody can handle that. Don't need my special set of skills for that. This guy, unfortunately, not because I can't do it, it's just I don't want to do it. But that's what the sculptor decided to do. Let's paint some eyeballs on him. Well, if you do that, then I kind of have to do it. Let's go ahead and knock that out. Let's get some white. Let's see what kind of a point we got on this thing. Yeah, it's too big. I don't have confidence in it. This one. When you're doing something detailed, you got to make sure you got confidence in your paintbrush tip. This one's got like a tuft at the end too. No, still has it. Still has it. Come on. It's like a piece of lint. Okay, that's all we're doing. Just two little white pot marks. Wait for that to dry a little bit. Let's mix up some black. I'm just trying to put a vertical stripe on there. Okay, you can barely see it. You guys will see close-up pictures of this guy eventually, so. Okay, let's put this holy of holy brushes away. That's going to be our super detailed one. We need him for special projects like that. All right. These aren't that bad. Once I read somewhere, oh, just do a vertical line. I'm like, okay, makes a huge difference. instead of trying to put a dot. That doesn't work. Just give up on that. Okay. Well, this guy's cast with the right number of fingers. That helps. Let's not do like we did with the last guy and not paint his legs. He's barren-legged for sure. In this army, these auxilia stands can take the place of the blades. So most of the time we're going to use the blades, but the three around the building Anglo-Irish will already have three stands of them. And all right. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I should be able to work fine. Still getting out of the habit. Still trying to get out of the habit of rinsing the brush and using the water as thinner. I'm trying to use this Vallejo thinner to get a little bit more better flow on the paint. It sticks a little bit less to the brush. Trying to get in the habit of doing that. Okay, let's bring this up now with skin tone. Will you get down here? A bit more moisture. I'll be right back. Okay. Man, slow morning, folks. I guess a couple of you guys are just enjoying me ramble on. That works. What do we got? 8:40 in the morning here, Eastern Standard Time. I forget if we're Greenwich -5 or Greenwich -6, depending on daylight savings or not. Anyhow, here. This is way too close. I'm not going to be using that unless we're going to switch colors. All right, let's get paint some fingerdom here. You guys have it right. Just pick one and leave it. I don't even care which one they pick. No. Pick one, leave it alone. I want to say there's a state that does half and half. So in other words, if it's we're still on daylight savings time, which means it would normally be, oh, I can't do math, I don't have enough in there. But whatever different distance it is between us, normally 3 hours. There's another state that actually, I want to say has half, does like at a 30 or something. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I want to say there was. I want to say it was like New Mexico or something, but maybe do half of the time zone, or I don't know. Thought there was. It's got to make it difficult for like TV programming, I would imagine. But you got to watch TV for that to be an issue. I never watch TV anymore, so I never watch any TV that's live. So I'm watching it's on like Hulu or Netflix, or I don't do any of the cable stations. So North Korea does a half time zone. Okay, well I was talking about somewhere in the States. I'm surprised they're advanced enough in North Korea to use time. Oh no, I just got added to a North Korean watch list. Screw those guys. Speaking of North Korea, I probably need to take a look at. When I went through my palette, I have actually more Koreans, more what do you call those guys? The Elaine Tulare Koreans left over to build. I may consider building my Korean army and making it 3.0 compatible. I have Book 276 Kogoryo Korean. They're over in the northern portion of Korea, so they would be, most of their kingdom was in North Korea, and their army changed significantly from 2.2 to 3.0. Mine's a 2.2 army. It's the first army I ever won a tournament with. So that was kind of their claim to fame. They won a nice trophy too. One of the nicer ones I have. I don't really want to brag about this stuff because it's really not worth anything. It's just really nice as a memento. Like, hey, I remember the time that we did this or we did the other thing, and it's kind of. We'll show you where it is. Let's see if we can pull this off. We'll unplug it and shift this and unplug this. Ah, nice wall. Yeah, we'll just take this thing off the wall. This is one of the nicer. Thank you. That's luckily that didn't fall on anything. One of the nicer ones I have here. Marty Schmidt provided this. This is the last time our tournaments were in Tampa. So it's called Last Tango in Tampa, and 2006. So that's with my Korean army. Won that. So don't you hate when you take one thing off a wall and something else falls in its place? One of my pet peeves. All right. Let's see if we can get this back out. And that's why I finish all my sodas, because no soda spilled. Ha ha ha. Joke's on you. Let's see, let's rotate this over. See what happens when I get sidetracked. All right, let's put this back. And oh, I know why that happened. That happened because it got caught. See, I've got this little doodad stuff, the stuff that people like stick figures on and stuff. I forget what this stuff's called, but you can put posters up with it. I put a little bit of it on the bottom so they didn't rotate. And it caught. And the next one, and the one next to it slid off. Let's see here. There you go. And there. Okay, cool. Well, we can get rid of that can. And the dull coat. Some things are so darn loud. That's one of them. Anything falls on my floor. We got a tile floors. Got a tile that looks like wood. Anything that falls on that floor is just deafeningly loud. All right, let's see if we can get this back. Damn North Koreans. Just talk about North Koreans and there's problems. See? Sons of bitches. All right. Let's see if we can get this back how we had it. Somewhat. And yeah, crash. Hey, I do all my own stunts. All right. Back in business. Yeah, anything that falls on here is loud as shit, so. Soda, we're going to switch to gum. I'm bad breath on camera. All right, where were we? So yeah, I've got some of the units that didn't change at all, like the light horse and the cataphracts and that kind of stuff. But the infantry's all different. Because I'm never going to play 2.2 again, ever. Yeah, don't mind converting them. Almost all the armies in 3.0 are more interesting. It's rare to find a 2.2 army that's more interesting than a 3.0 one. The lone exception I can think of might be my Southern Dynasty's Chinese, which another army that changed on it. So, all right. Yeah, the hell were we? Put these two together. And go from there. But that's not my next project. For sure. Man, this brush is in a shambles. I'm hardly using any paint. That means there's nothing to really hold the bristles together. So it's almost like they dry out and they split. All right, let's try this again. That's why you keep a clean painting desk, folks. You have a crash like that and it doesn't land on anything. All right, this brush is just being incorrigible. Yeah. we can't work with the lights of you. This will be your replacement. You just have some days that the brushes want to misbehave, and then you come back to them, and then they're just fine. Well, this guy started off looking like Furquad, and now it's looking a little bit more like Templeton Peck. Man. So I like doing faces. You never know who they're gonna. You never know who's gonna be starring in your army. All right, let's add some white to this. Well, you know what? I was gonna make this guy a redhead, but if his face looks this much like this, then I gotta go with full hog and make him look like the rest of Dirk Benedict. Just for yucks. All right. Flat Earth. And this. I got one guy that looks like Hulk Hogan in my Swedish army. Not intentionally, it just kind of happened. Well, he's kind of a short Hulk Hogan, let's put it that way. Earth. people watching. You'll have a bunch of people. One guy will come in, check out, and then leave. You're like, oh, Tony's not doing his cooking show. I don't want to watch. Well, I got news for you. I'm never going to do a cooking show. More likely to do an eating show than a cooking show. Okay. Add more of this. See what we got when we mix these two. Got this yellow just sitting here. That should be okay. Ooh, too much. Okay. Now, we'll put his javelin. Damn it. Got a little piece of like lint or something here. There we go. Didn't have to go get out the tweezers. All right, and then we need a colored belt. It's going to translate into a scoured color. Let's just use this brown. I don't really want to make it look reddish. Okay. What kind of notifications we're getting on here? Let's see. Okay. All right, let's get some usual suspects out here. Gonna need this here. And what else? Ah, yes, good old, is that the bronze? No, that's old gold. Not that one, it's this one. The Yeho bronze. That's it for that. Okay, we got some shoes and this guy's done. Let's use the same color brown. Let's add a little bit of red to it. Okay, this guy's complete. Yeah, so now we've got 4 auxilia done. It's 9:15 in the morning. We're gonna go ahead and stop now. We've been on for almost 3.5 hours. And I got a breakfast date coming up soon here with the daughter. So we get ready for that. And not sure if we'll be on later, but you guys can be notified when I go online, and make sure once you subscribe, you hit that little bell. That'll get you guys to get a notification that we're back on in business. Okay, folks, we'll see you guys next time.